Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Free Magic Live. Now, in last week's video, you got to see James, professional busker, street performer, magician, who's actually performing right there. Got a massive crowd right there. I actually interviewed him and you saw part 1. Now you're about to see part 2, and he's going to talk a little bit more about what he does and how he does, and also some myths about busking. Let's go. And has your act changed from when you first started to now? And if so, what were some major things that you put in or took out trick-wise? If you know, have you always been doing cups and balls?
Yeah, it was always, well, before I started training with Gazzo, it was a chop cut. I can actually tell you what it was. It was coin through the table. Okay. Leading
that was the first.
Yeah, then it was leading into Professor's Nightmare. Yeah. Leading on to Rocky Raccoon.
Okay. That's probably good.
Yeah, and then bastardization, for want of a better expression, which isn't a real word. It's a conflagration of a chop cut bought from, used by Paul Daniels, which a lot of people do. Okay, it's theft, I suppose, but I don't do it anymore because I didn't pay for it. Yeah. But the thing that's changed radically, from there to where I am now, apart from the wonderful training I got from Gazzo. Yeah. If anybody's thinking about getting Gazzo,
so you paid Gazzo to teach?
I paid Gazzo to teach. Well, he did a lecture.
Okay, yeah.
It was about £35 maybe a day, £70, and then I bought the pouch, bought the cups. Yeah. There's another story about those, by the way, I'll tell you later. Yeah. So I actually physically paid Gazzo for the training, and it's the best. It's the best money I've ever spent. Best money I've ever spent on magic ever. But the main thing that's changed, apart from the actual effects, is the understanding of pack and group and audience psychology, because that's what helps build the show. When I was starting out, it was like, friend, okay, if I don't do this, they're going to walk. If I don't do this, they're going to walk. The audience is going to walk. And now it's just like, and then ask the audience to come in a bit there, and ask the audience to come in a bit there. No toast the line. No, seriously, it's important. You tell them why it's important. Give them a reason. And they do. Now you got an edge like this, and then I do the balloon swallow. And the balloon swallow is to get an audience, although it does. The balloon swallow is to lock that audience in. And so what I've learned dramatically from there to what I'm doing now is the audience psychology, audience management. And that's as important as a show.
For myself personally, when I first started out doing busking, when I was 15, I found that if you can stop someone, make them watch, get their wallet out and pay you, that's pretty amazing. And not a lot of performers can do that. No. One, I think because of ego, because they think, oh, I'm better than this. And two, because I don't think a lot of them can. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of work.
It is a completely different genre. It's a completely different. When I first took to the streets, I thought, I've done 4 years cabaret or doing stand-up gigs in Tenerife. I've done close-up. I can do this. No. Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and come and watch me.
Please clap. If you get people are going to go and you go, no, stop, and you give them a joke for doing so or whatever. Don't clap. You'll attract Americans, which is a stop line. When, you never go slow, and then hands up from America, slow, blah blah blah. But they've got that unrequited, like, and I can think about it. I mean, if I could be so bold as say it's like tantric sex. You never got that moment before the cigarette. You got, and people, so they've got all that in them. That they want to, but they can't because you're not letting them. And at the end, when you do the final production, it's
how many balls in the middle cup? Orange.
So busking has its myths about it. I think a lot of people are unsure about busking. They think sometimes they can come across as a beggar, and just there's a lot of things. Just even as performing in general, but as a busker, what would be some myths that you can maybe tell some people out there that that aren't true, or that are true?
Are true. Well, myths. Mentioned beggar. People think that buskers. Some people think that buskers are beggars. But and that's. I've got a friend. I love him dearly. I've got friends in the UK. I won't mention anything specific. I've got friends in the UK that say, "When are you going to get a real job and stop begging?" So I say to them, "So my begging, as you put it, and this is busting the myth. My begging, as you put it, it helps me travel around the world." and go to various countries and earn a living. Get to see amazing things, work with amazing people, actually have lots of money in my pocket, and then keep up my flat wherever I am. So that's big, So yes, I'll get a proper job. Not, I'm self-employed, and this is the way I do it. So there's a bit of a myth that it's begging. It's not. It's the second oldest profession in the world. The first oldest profession, obviously, being something else, which we may not touch on. There's a little shop up the road that does it, so never mind.
Speaking of tough, actually, that's not
So that's one myth that it's begging. The other myth is that a lot of bookers. This is funny. There's an agent in Adelaide.
An Asian or an agent?
Agent in Adelaide. And she's a great agent. And she was approached by somebody doing a street closure festival during the Adelaide Fringe. Now, during the Adelaide Fringe, you got 36 other. This was years ago. 40 other buskers coming because they make money. They don't go to where they don't make money. That's why I'm in Brisbane. We make money, and we love what we do. But this. Woman looking after the street closure saying, "Oh, can we get some of your performers, the guys, to come up and do XYZ up at XYZ Street, whatever it was?" And they were saying, they said, "Well, they'll have to be paid a retainer." Well, what? $20, $30? And she looks at, "You're joking, aren't you? $30 to get them to come from this heavy populated traffic area, where the fringe is, to go up to where they might not be, and you're only going to give them $30. Well, they don't earn much, do they? Now, I'm not at liberty to say how much a busker earns. But I've just said, I travel around the world. I'm a single. When I was a single guy, I travelled around the world. Seriously, winter time in London. So, I think I'll go to Australia. And some people say also there's a myth that busking, you're not going to get anywhere with it. Bollocks.
You've been doing it for how many years?
12 years, 15 years. I've been travelling the world. I met my wife through being in Australia. But here's people say that busking doesn't take you anywhere. So here's the thing: Eddie Izzard. Eddie Izzard. Huge name. Busking. Penn and Teller, Penn Gillette. Did a bit of, guess what? Busking. Amazing Jonathan. Oh, busking. Nick Nicholas said to me, just briefly, if you're starting out busking on the streets, you're basically getting paid to learn. Okay, you should really come to the pot with quality material, but that's corporate. On the streets, if you fail, you try again. If you fail, you try, and you're learning all the time. And one last thing, a friend of mine, again back in Scotland, said, James, you could do a show and nobody puts money in your hat. Well, two things. One, if nobody puts money in the hat, guess what? Do another show. But the second and most important thing is in regards to doing this, I know that I can feel the audience that this isn't going to work. So instead of wasting my energy on something that's not going to work, I say, thanks a lot, guys, take care. So I'll do another show in about 10 minutes. This really isn't working. Thanks a lot. Walk away. So, people say, well, that you're the beck and call. It's not a myth per se, but people say you're the beck and call of other people walking by, people in the street. Yes, you are, but it's up to you to decide who you want. And you're in total control. If you're good, you do well. If you're not good, get good. If you don't want to get good, you don't do it.
I think you'd agree with me, and I first told you guys out there how I first started going out every week, Friday, Saturday night. It's the best time, as you said, to go out and really try things out. You know what I mean? Where else are you going to get real life, honest response from someone on the street? They didn't pay to come and see you. They weren't out to come and find an entertainer. They're there on their own mission. And as a performer, for you to swap them, make them watch, make them laugh, and even get them to give you money, it's an amazing thing to do.
It is. I mean, if you make them stop, there's an old adage: make them stop, make them stay, make them watch, make them pay. Stop, stay, watch, and pay. I mean, it's an old adage. You ask any street performer, they'll all know that. Stop, stay, watch, and pay. I think the ideal position to be in is where the money doesn't become the thing. And I know some great performers, or know of some great performers in the States. Cosmo, for example. Other people I can't remember offhand. Cosmo for one. He doesn't need the money that brings in. He's got other interests. He's doing other things. I think he's doing a magazine style thing as well. So going out the street is more about fun. But he still makes money. But the money's not the driving force. For me, at the moment, the money is. But I try and not. You can end up getting bitter sometimes.
And I've seen some performers when there's enough bitter behind them. But that's like in life though, with anyone.
Any job. It's a personal choice. Personal choice. Did you hear me? Personal choice. Exactly.